On the issue of, and I'm calling it what it is, on the issue of the scandal at the fire department.
Oh, right.
Utica Fire Department. We have a lot to get into with this today. In addition, I have in my possession now. There are the text messages, the copy and paste text messages that are being scattered around, and some outlets have put them up on the web. This morning, I have what I believe is a raw export from and I'm calling this kid a victim. He's 23 years old when it started, 26 currently, I believe.
Or soon.
Yeah. I have an export from his phone. So it's everything. It's not just it's everything between the two of them. And I got to tell you something. And you can say, and I've heard some people have had some opinions. Listen, this is going on because his dad, who's on the fire department, wanted to be chief. This is going on, and he's not, and he's angry about it. I think this was completely consensual. Well, the reason it's not against the law is because he's over 18 years of age. It's not like, he was forced to do anything. But there seems to be, based on if the text messages are authentic, and I other than it looks like I see the program, I know the program that's being used. It takes, I believe, an Android phone or whatever phone. You plug it in on your computer, and it exports certain text messages. So you would say you would go after a certain contact, and it'll export all of those messages between the two parties.
Okay.
And I'll read some of it. And the dates are very interesting, too, because it'll go one date, you coming over? No answer. Hey, why aren't you answering me? You coming over? No, I'm going out with friends. You're kidding me. Yeah, I'm going to be meeting my girlfriend. Well, why don't you bring her over? We can watch some porn. No, I'm not going to tell her about that. What, she's not into porn? No. Some girls are into porn. LOL. I mean, it's that kind of crap going on. And it's constant. It'll miss a couple of days, and then, hey, I'm at the firehouse tonight. Want to come over? Again, if these are authentic text messages, and we believe that they are, I have no reason to believe that they aren't. You can look at this any way you want, but there's one way to look at it, I think, and that is, what in the hell is this doing? What would an official with the Utica Fire Department, and in this case, the acting fire chief, if these messages are accurate, the acting fire chief is carrying out a relationship of porn and sex antics, including masturbation, inside the quarters where the deputy fire chiefs sleep. There are 4 bunk beds in there for one of each of the 4 deputies. You got to be, at the very least, this has to be a violation of any code of conduct, right?
Yeah.
At the fire department. And how could the mayor continue to support such a behavior? Forget the kids over 18, forget all of it. How could the mayor support John Kelly for fire chief if this stuff exists, if these exist? Now, I did speak to the mayor yesterday, and he said, listen, you don't have what I have. No, I think we do. I think we have more than what the mayor has. I think we have an actual export from this kid's phone. So, you probably read about it and Facebook, and it's John, the person who's the fire official is acting fire chief John Kelly. And we were very cautious about using the name until we finally came to a conclusion yesterday, right?
Yes.
And it really wasn't me fighting for the use of the name. It wasn't. It really was. We dug in more, and from one of the sources, and it was it's at the very least unbelievably believable.
So I guess the hesitation was, anyone can, it's none of my business or anyone else's business what someone does, who they have any type of relationship with, whether it be a friendship or something beyond that. It's really irrelevant. But when it gets to be in the fire station, and then somebody who is seeking to be employed by the fire department, right? So I guess that was the hesitation. We wanted to make sure that we understood this fully.
One of your other concerns was that is this a situation where they're just buds? Because guess what? A relationship can occur. These are two adults, whether we like it or not. These are two adults. But your big concern was, he's a recruit. This is a 23-year-old trying to become a firefighter, wanted to be a firefighter his whole life. Here's the deputy chief that's befriended him, allegedly, according to the sources, taking him out on fires, gets to ride in the truck.
See, that's what I have a problem with, too. But go ahead, sorry.
But beyond that, and then he's calling him in, and he's kind of behind the scenes things. He's kind of let in behind the curtain, so it's pretty exciting. And then he's trying to be a firefighter. He takes the testing. He goes through all of what it takes. And then there's one big test. It's a physical test that's going on. And according to the messages provided to us, John Kelly texted the kid and said, "Hey, you ready for this weekend?" And the kid, and I'll read it exactly as I have it. There's a lot of pages here, but so the kid is like, what's going on this weekend? You're taking your CPAC or some like fire exam. And he said, "Oh yeah, I've been working. I've been really working out. I'm really hoping I do well." And he says, "All right, well I'm rooting for you. I'll be there. I'll be watching." And the kid seemed a little surprised that he was going to be there for this. And then he says, "Yeah, maybe we can get together and watch porn afterwards." What the freak is going on here? What is this? And again, I want to be clear. This is what the export from the phone that's provided to us. We are told it is an export from this kid's telephone, and that these are actual messages back and forth. And there are many, many more pages, but the dates are there. It's all time-stamped. And everything ended with, "Come on over, I got a new tape." Now, where is come on over? It's at the fire station. Back in and it was interesting that when you look through the timeline here, the acting fire chief was a deputy at the time while this was going on. So the deputies are one on duty at a time. There's 1 of 4 deputies, one on at a time. When he's on, it's nighttime. They're spending the night. The chambers apparently are in the back of the firehouse. And there were things like, "Hey, so-and-so's here. Be careful." Or hide what you got when you come in because so-and-so's here. Or don't come because so-and-so's here. Yeah. And in some cases, it's your dad because his father's a firefighter. So, again, these are authentic. What is the city doing about this? Because I don't know how they can continue another day like this when everyone over at that fire department, and we're going to release the entire export of this kid's phone. And the only thing I'll remove is the kid's name. Here's one. Well, hey, you coming over? I got a Girls Gone Wild for later. Kid, awesome, I can't wait. Well, don't go blanking off or getting laid before you come down. We can't blank one out to. We can blank one out to these girls. LOL. This is like it happens one week and then it goes on a couple of weeks later. It goes on a day later. It goes on a weekend. But it's always happening, according to what our source is telling us, when Kelly is on duty as deputy chief. So here's something interesting also. When the deputy chief becomes the chief of the fire department, which would have been July of last year, right?
Yes.
Everything kind of stops. And the reason is because the deputy chief is now the chief, and he's no longer at the firehouse spending the night. The chief's job is a day job.
Yeah.
So now you're there from
8 to 4,
7 to 7, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So you got everybody there. So, but every once in a while, according to these text messages, John Kelly pulled D/C duty, deputy chief duty. And it's exactly what he'd say in the text messages. So it seems on these messages. And it would be like, hey, I want to come over Saturday night. And the kid is like, wow, you have deputy chief? You DC? Yeah, I'm DC this weekend. And then all of a sudden it started back up again. So this has been going on while Kelly, according to these messages, while Kelly was fire chief. And ended in March of this year when the family of the kid the kid disclosed everything that was going on when he didn't get a job. And what we're being told is the kid is like, I tolerated all of this. I went through all of this, and I'm not even getting a job. That's when they say he explained everything to his dad, and that's when the dad took it to the mayor's office in March. And we're just hearing about it now. It was just this week when it was determined that it was not. And to me, even yesterday when I spoke with the mayor, and I don't want to say it was off record, it was just a conversation. So there's some things I won't reveal. But the mayor kept saying, I'm going to tell you, it's not criminal. It is not criminal. No one ever said it's criminal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's not criminal.
The police said it wasn't criminal.
The police have said it's not criminal. I don't even know why it went to the police, because it's not criminal. It's not like he held this kid down. It's not like he called him when he was a minor. The kid is of age. But and you can't say, well, it looks like, I'm reading the text, it looks like the kid's a willing participant. Yeah, there's a guy in a position of power who's older, one who isn't. Switch this whole thing out, and it's a female, and this isn't even a conversation. It's like totally a Me Too movement type thing. Call the deputy phone and you're on your way in case I doze off. So, that's the 5-3. That's the city line. This is all, the question would be, how can this be tolerated inside a Utica firehouse?
I have a couple questions that don't directly deal with this, but I was kind of surprised. Where you can invite someone along to go cover a fire?
We'll talk about that.
Do they ride in the truck with you? How close?
There's a lot more to talk about. Let me break and we'll come back because there's much more out of all of this.
Isn't that a liability issue?
It's referenced here, by the way. It's referenced in these text messages because there's a paper you can sign.
Okay.
And it's referenced in these messages.
Okay.
I'll tell you how many pages. I have 49 pages. And the service used was SMS conversation saved by a Motorola phone, an Android device, and it was exported on June 7th of this year. The full export of any conversation between the two of these people. I just don't know how we can go one more day without taking some sort of action. It doesn't have to be criminal. There's a violation of I would think, fire department regulations. Wouldn't you think?
Again,
and your question of the ride-alongs. Can regular citizens or a recruit ride along?
And I don't know if I asked this on the air, if this was off the air, but like, for instance, if I'm going to use you as an example, I'm sorry for dragging you in. Say I work at the firehouse and Andrew and I are friends, just friends. Can I invite you over for dinner? Can you bring a pizza over? Or if I have, a wife and kids?
Apparently the answer to that is yes.
Yes. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this then.
What about spending the night?
But at least, in one of these,
there's some talk of that.
In one of these, it's like, hey, you spend the night, we can sleep in. Your sleeping bag's here. So, without getting into too much, he would, according to what we're told, Kelly would sleep in his bunk, and then he would sleep in one of the other deputy chief's bunks. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there were friends that came along, male, female, And maybe I'm just out of touch because I would feel uncomfortable sitting there with a group of guys watching porn. That to me is just odd.
In briefs, especially.
And the briefs thing. All throughout, it's constantly questioning about do you have the briefs?
But it's almost.
Did you get the briefs yet? No, I didn't get them yet. I don't have any. What? WTF? And then finally, it's like, again, if these are authentic, it's from Kelly. Don't worry about it. I got a brand new pair you can use. What's up with the briefs? It is just the word. Let me break and we'll come back. There's a lot to get into, and I want to tell you though, this morning, and I promise that I won't drag the chief into this, but Chief Brooks, who is still, by the way, the fire chief in the city of Utica, and probably will be until the end of the fall, until the end of September, when he ages out, if you will, mandatory retirement. But I have the Chief Brooks coming in this morning, and we've said we're going to stick to this. I just want to know about protocol. There's a thing called the Code of Conduct for the fire department.
Right.
What is that Code of Conduct? And is this something that is typical? Has it ever been typical over the years? Now, I did get a statement from Chief Brooks who said, and I'm just going to paraphrase. I'm going to read some actual quotes coming up, but I'll paraphrase here from Chief Brooks, who said he wouldn't even allow Maxim magazine in the firehouse. There was to be no porn, no inappropriate viewing of movies, no R-rated movies. And part of the problem, I think, too, for fire departments all across the country is, especially full-time where people are spending the night, is women are a part of the fire department today. So it's different. It used to be just a group of guys. Well, now it's different. So I think there had to be less tolerance of any inappropriate material. So he's basically saying, I didn't allow anything. And I've talked to others who have the same type of policy that it's almost like you're off. It's almost like what we're seeing is it's a group of guys who work at a place and they've gone off to a convention in Las Vegas. They've got 4 days away without their wives, and it's Vegas gone wild. That's almost like what seems to be going on at times at the Utica Fire Department. And of all people, according to these text messages, it's the interim chief of the fire department. Holy cow! And the message from the mayor's office is, we've disciplined. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if there's this person listening right now that would think if they were the ones instituting this sort of thing. I can't imagine anyone out there thinking they'd still have their job, let alone a public service job like being a fireman for a municipality.